Seems like every single day there's yet another story out about electric vehicle fires, and the more I read, the more it brings it home to me that sooner or later there is going to be a catastrophic fire caused by an electric vehicle somewhere, like a Hindenburg moment or a Grenfell. I'm looking at the cars that are being repaired on Auto Trader and being put out into the market. Lots of private sellers. You'd have to wonder how private sellers, there's a change in ownership, the car's a write-off, goes into a salvage auction, it's sold, and then about a month, 2 months later, it's for sale on Auto Trader by a private seller. And you know very well it's not a private seller, and in some cases it's trade acting as a private seller. It's all going to end in tears, mark my words. There's many things about Auto Trader I don't like, but one of the good things about Auto Trader, and one I would like to think I was responsible for, is that write-offs are marked on the adverts. So Cat S and Cat N's, there's a little orange tag at the bottom, as long as you understand what Cat N and Cat S is. It's not won something, it's not an award, it's a bad thing. It's been an insurance write-off. So that's the good thing about looking on Auto Trader. However, the bad thing is, and all the people that you think you should trust, the insurance companies, the leasing companies, the auctions, all people like that you should be able to trust, from what I can see, they keep slipping back, and I know they do. They keep putting unrecorded write-offs back into the system. You could buy one. A few years ago, I saw some at main dealers selling write-offs. Not too long ago, I saw a Porsche at a main Porsche dealer that said it was a write-off, and it was a delivery mileage one. I emailed the dealership and I emailed Porsche, and I said to them, surely this is a mistake. Car disappeared off the advert, but they never answered me. So I'm assuming it wasn't a mistake, and I can only think the worst of them. So why do they do it? Why would they put in an unrecorded write-off? Well, there's a couple of things. If whoever crashes it has got no insurance to start off with, or their insurance is null and voided for some reason, perhaps drink driving, they crash a vehicle, the insurance ain't going to pay out. So guess what? At least when the insurance is paying out, you've got half a chance of having a proper job done. But if somebody buys it to repair in the garage as an unrecorded write-off, you can guarantee that they will cut corners. They will repair it as cheaply as possible, because it's not about getting the car back on the road. It's about making money. That's all they want to do. So now I'll just show you leasing company and an auction company doing, in my view, what they shouldn't. And also, this also encourages the sale of stolen parts. And it also encourages ringing, because if it's an unmarked, unrecorded write-off, they just go and nick a car and screw the plates on, ring it, and then they've got a cheap car, haven't they? They've no need to even repair it. They just nick one. Today, I'm just going to go through some of the cars at British car auctions, the things that worry me as well. And, you know, I've emailed them and I've warned them that this is just a catastrophe waiting to happen and that they owe the workers more than to allow this to go on, in my opinion. So let me just show you. Don't forget the unrecorded write-offs. Why are they unrecorded? Because they know very well that they'll be able to sell them for more. So it's in the insurance company's interest, it's in the person, say the leasing company's interest, because they'll get more for the vehicle than if it's recorded as a write-off. So it's in their interest for it not to be recorded. Remember that. And there's no hard and fast rules about, is it me after reporting to them? There's no hard and fast rules. There's no law that says they have to report a write-off. So it could end up shoddily repaired for sale on Auto Trader without any warnings that it's a Cat S or it's been in a horrific accident.
Hi Logistics Legal, I'm curious. It seems that a lot of good dealers are getting caught out with unrecorded write-offs that have been sold through salvage auctions. I've heard a figure mentioned of 10,000 in the last 2 years, which have changed hands via advertisements. I'm curious, as professional car dealers, we are expected to have carried out due diligence checks. I'm pretty sure that all dealers use HPI or the equivalent, but now there is a means to check against cars sold through salvage auctions, which can highlight cars that are write-offs. But the insurance companies haven't informed me after. So my question is, if a dealer unknowingly sells an unrecorded write-off and the customer takes them to court, wouldn't a judge immediately find in favour of the customer, as this could easily have been avoided for a small cost, especially as a write-off is not worth anywhere near what the customer would have been charged? Hi Barry, thanks for reaching out. This is not a yes or no question, I'm afraid, and the outcome of whether a judge would find one way or the other simply depends on each case and the judge, of course. We can submit legal arguments to assist with Logistic UK members' cause, but it would be negligent of us to set out in social media what they may be, not only because each case turns on its own facts, but because the area of law is quite nuanced and technical. By way of example, there is still in existence a House of Lords decision from the 1970s, Moorgate Mercantile Credit vs. Twitchins, and which has yet to be overturned, that says there is no obligation on a finance company to record credit agreements on HPI. Sorry, I cannot be more generically definitive.
First one there, BMW iX3, 210 kilowatt, M Sport. At the bottom there, non-runner, accident damage. You see the car, and it's the front is smashed in, not terrible, I've got to say, but all up the sides smashed in, and that's for sale in the auction, accident damage. Now, if there's any damage underneath to that vehicle, like the battery or any cables, that vehicle could set fire at any moment. Nobody knows. And it's in a car park with about 1,000 other cars. If that sets on fire, that is a foreseeable consequence. And in my view, they are putting the other dealers' stock at risk who leave their cars with them to sell in the auction. The cars next to them, if those cars go up in flames, then you've had it. The ones at the side of it are going to get it too. You'll see there, Alphabet, Alfera, BMW Finance Services. Non-runner, accident damage, only faults. Here's another one, look. MG Motors UK ZS Electric, 115 kilowatt, 27,651 miles, non-runner, 19th of the 10th, 2022, one owner, taxi private hire, so it's a taxi as well, non-runner, previous accident damage. When you look at that, you click on it, what's the worst thing you can think of? The cables there, and I never thought about this till the other day. I was actually saying that I thought it was a good idea for the vehicles to have the charging socket in the front, so that when you pull up, don't matter what side of the road you're on, the cable is equal. Because sometimes if it's right at the front and you can't reverse up or you can't get frontwards in, then you've got to have the cable stretching right the way along. It's the same with my little Citroen Ami. And sometimes it's kind of like at garrote height. Then after seeing this, it's probably not a good idea. You see there, all the airbags have gone off inside this vehicle, and the front of the vehicle, the high voltage orange cables, they're exposed. Look at that chassis leg there. I mean, that's not worth anything. That should just be recycled. It's scrap. Look at that. Just the airbags and the seatbelt pretensioners will cost thousands. There you go, bonnet, wings. It's just, that's just a waste of everything. Let me just see. I mean, there's no way you'd be able to tell whether the battery was damaged there, really. Look at that. 58,000 miles. Non-runner. Warsaw auction. 27th of 9, 2021. Non-runner accident damage. Looks alright from this side. Looks down a bit on the front end, of course. And then when you go around the other side, what on earth is a car auction doing selling them? Wheel at an angle and down. Smashed in. Nissan Leaf. 79,222. 5 owners. £1,225 cap clean. Salvage declaration. Total loss Cat D. Now this, you'll find this interesting. Total loss Cat D. 25th of the 4th, 2013. Total loss Cat N. 25th of the 7th, 2023. Total loss Cat S. 24th of the 7th, 2018. That vehicle has been written off 3 times. Insurance write-offs 3 times. Now, a few years ago, somebody bumped into my girlfriend. It was one of these crash for cash things, and I followed them. I found out where they lived. I parked up the road and I watched them, and I followed them as they went round looking for a crash. I videoed them. I gave the videos to the insurance companies. The car that they had, when I checked into it, it had been written off 3 times. It had been involved in an accident about 4 weeks before they run into my girlfriend and written off then. Then it transpired when we got an insurance investigator. For the one house, there were 21 insurance claims pending. And that went from tripping up on the curb, tripping on a raised flagstone, to being a passenger in the car, to being a driver. 21 accident claims. So make what you will of that. Written off 3 times. What on earth is that doing in an auction? It's not worth the change in your pocket. It's a liability. What a pile of shit. I'd be mad if somebody gave me that. Look at that paintwork. It's just worth nothing. And that's parked right in the middle of all those vehicles. Right next to a nice car like that. This is what you'd see if you checked out that old knacker. 2013. Salvage. Salvage. 2023. 2018. And there's another one a bit later. First written off at 41,670. 2nd of October 2023, the first one. That one's 13th of September 2013. Those are the photographs. And that's it all smashed up. So it was written off there at 41,670 miles. Cat S, structural damage. That's the first lot of photos. Now the funny thing is the second lot of photos, the first lot of photos I can show you, but when I click on the second lot of photos, they have, that's a cat hen, but they've got reuse is strictly prohibited on the photos, so I can't show you the second lot. 13 plate, remember when everybody said, oh, I'm not getting a 13 plate, it's unlucky. Nissan Leaf, 40 kilowatt end connector, 18,700 miles, one owner, unclassified, 8,350, Lex Auto Lease, 4th of 4th 2022, one owner, serious accident damage, not on register. Why do you think they've put it not on register? No guarantee it won't go on, but they've made a specific note. This is a leasing company and it's in British car auctions. It's a mess. Specifically mentioned it's not on the register. 18,000 miles. An auction selling what are basically scrap cars, and you don't know whether that car has a damaged battery or not. You could buy that, or somebody could buy it. They've specifically put it's unrecorded on there so it will make more money. The leasing company know it, and also British Car Auction know it. There's only one reason to do it. Don't kid yourself it's for anything else. It's because it'll make more money if whoever buys it knows it's unrecorded, because they can sell it at full up price. There used to be a saying, if you took a write-off in, how do you value it? You get Glasses Guide, divide by 2 and knock £1,000 off. And that was your figure for a write-off. Something like a third. It was worth about a third at one time. But now you see Auto Trader put mileage banners on proper cars that aren't write-offs, but on write-offs they don't put valuations. So they can just ask what they want without Auto Trader telling them how much they should. Stupid, absolutely stupid. But honestly, all those vehicles, I wouldn't touch any of them with a barge pole. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.